Hello, this is Sarah Ayler with SoftFlexCompany.com. Happy St. Patrick's Day. If you're watching live today, it is St. Patrick's Day. We are going to be making a stack of braided bracelets using SoftFlex beading wire. I am streaming to a lot of different places today. I am streaming to our normal SoftFlex pages and our SoftFlex VIB group, but I'm also streaming to the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group and YouTube page. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Great Bead Extravaganza starting right at the top. So if you're planning on going this weekend, then I hope you will tune into this beginning of the video to talk a little bit about that. So I'm super excited for the weekend. We're having our third Great Bead Extravaganza this weekend. It is a collective group of 17 small businesses in the beading industry. SoftFlex Company is just one of those 17 businesses. And there are some really, really great members. In fact, all of them are amazing. Whether you're looking at the Bead Gallery from Honolulu or the Bead Place with Abby Berta, you've got Candy Cooper and Kate Richburg and Andrew Thornton and just a wildly talented group. We've got Tierra Cast and Goody Beads and Dakota Stones, and just it's really, truly amazing to see everyone come together, and then all of the really wonderful tutorials that will come over the weekend. So preview night is at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time on Friday the 19th. And it will be in the Great Bead Extravaganza group. You want to go to the announcements. Anytime there's a scheduled video, you go to the announcements. And Joe McKay. Yeah, it's 17 companies, so it would take me a long time to list every single one because they're all amazing. Those are just the ones that popped into my head at the moment, but everyone is absolutely amazing. So you're going to go to the announcement section in the Great Bead Extravaganza group on Facebook. If you're not a member, it's really easy. You just go search for it and join. There's nothing you have to pay for this. There's no even questions to answer. You just have to go join the group and then show up at the time on the schedule. And it is a whole lot of fun. So on Friday night, all of the companies that are available are going to get together and they're going to give you a preview of what's coming over the weekend. There's a schedule also in the files folder. So make sure when you get into the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group, you go to the files and print your schedule for Saturday and Sunday. You'll find SoftFlex Company on Saturday. We will be from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is also what? 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm translating it correctly. That's going to be my guess. It's going to be a very exciting weekend. SoftFlex Company is going to have brand new products, a lot of brand new products dropping Friday morning. We are going to have a BOGO item that's pretty fabulous over the weekend. And we are going to have giveaways as well. As a collective group, we will do one big giveaway, which you can sign up for now. And at the very end of the show, Damien will be dropping a link for it for everybody to go sign up. We're going to have one collective giveaway. And then SoftFlex Company already is running a giveaway on our YouTube page, which you can go do right now. You have to be a subscriber on our YouTube page and then look for the latest video that says 10K subscriber giveaway, I think is the beginning of the title. And all you have to do is comment on that video to enter to win one of 10 prizes. So another very easy way to win something. Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We still have some make along kits left for Kristen's project this weekend. I will be using the brand new products that are dropping on Friday morning for my project, and I'm getting a little nervous about it. I'm hoping they all are ready to go on Friday, but I'm sure it'll all pan out and work out just fine. Okay, so and hopefully some people are getting their stimulus check. I know my family got it this week, and you'll have a few extra dollars, which you can pump into our economy with all of these 17 small businesses that have worked so hard for the Great Bead Extravaganza. Everyone does it for free. But we do enjoy lots of orders from it. So that has been very nice in the last 2, and that keeps everybody excited to do more of them. So thank you for those orders, because that keeps us all going. Okay, so I think it was last week. No, I have it here. Oh, good, I do. Last week for Joyful Beading. Was it last week? Or was it the week before? I don't know. We're doing Joyful Beading, which is a daily prompt, weekday prompt in our VIB Softflex group. And let me flip over to the other camera because it'll be easier to see it. So we're doing a daily prompt, and on March 4th, I posted a trio of bracelets. I used the Pretty as a Peacock trio in peridot, the dark blue lapis, and the turquoise, and made this cute set of bangle bracelets that you can just slip right over your hand. And somebody commented that they wanted to see how to make them. And so I know we've done this project in the past, but it was quite a long time ago. So I thought I would revisit it today and use our Kiss Me, I'm Irish trio. And so I already made 3 of the bracelets. I'm going to make one with you today and then show you how you can bind them together in a group. And yeah, so that's my project for today. We're going to be making this cute little bangle bracelet stack that you can wear. This is all made with Softflex beading wire, which is a marine quality stainless steel beading wire. It comes in tons and tons of different colors, including these great St. Patrick's Day colors. We've got some really wonderful greens, peridot, green emerald, fluorite, and then chrysoprase. Excuse me. The 3 colors in the Kiss Me, I'm Irish trio are these 3. And so that's what I'm going to be using for today's project. Get a drink of water. Got a frog in my throat. Maybe it's a leprechaun in my throat, right? So we've been making leprechaun traps for the last 3 days here at Casa Ayler. My house is torn apart because it's full of these leprechaun traps everywhere I turn. I don't know if you guys have any little kids where you are, but this has become the big thing that you do for St. Patrick's Day. I also had a couple of green designs I wanted to share with you from previous weeks. If you're thinking green today for St. Patrick's Day and just spring in general, this is how those 2 stretch bracelets from last week turned out. Really fun. I like how the clear stretch shows through the super duos in this one. And then the 2 beads did hide the knots pretty well. So that turned out really nice. And then just a simple, easy, you can find these beads on our website. And then I have my lucky kit. I have just a few left if you want one. We have a new deal on the website as of today, running through next Tuesday. When you spend over $49, you get 10% off. When you spend over $69, you get 15% off. And when you go over $199 is what it is, you get 20% off, right? I think that's what it is. And I have a banner for it. Let me see if I can pull that up for you guys. There you go. And that's on our website, softflexcompany.com. So you can get a few different things like this kit, the Lucky Kit, which has some really beautiful big CZs in it and some fun tiara cast parts and pieces, and get that discount, which is nice. We also still have some egg hunt bead strands and just lots of gemstones and cool things to purchase on the website. So pretty good deal. Let me flip back to my comments and see what's going on over here. I will go through the comments and answer anything that's outstanding later. I see Kristen's here, and I'm sure she'll do a good job of helping answer your questions as well. So let's get to this design. I think I went through all of my notes and got to everything. If you want to do joyful beading, make sure you join our Softflex VIB studio group. If you want to go to the Great Bead Extravaganza, make sure you join the Great Bead Extravaganza group. And then don't forget to enter that 10,000 viewer giveaway on our YouTube channel. Okay, so I made the first 3. I'm thinking the 4th one, I wanted to double up a color. And I was thinking about doubling up the emerald because I'm using the peridot colored seed beads. On this one with the Pretty as a Peacock, I had some cute little really dark blue Swarovski crystals. So that's a really nice alternative. I think they're like a 3 millimeter. And I doubled up the turquoise with the darker bead. And so I think in this case, because I have a lighter bead, I'm going to double up the darker color. And plus, I think the darker color is just a little tinge more St. Patrick's Day-ish. So let's move some things out of the way here because I'm going to use my bracelet board. So I've got my green emerald Softflex, and I'm going to do a decent size piece. Let me see what size this is. I've got my handy dandy macrame board. I'm going to go at least the length of the board, which appears to be about 10 inches. Maybe even a little bit longer. Let's say 12 inches just to be kind of safe. Keep on the safe side. I'm going to get 3 of those because I'm braiding. They are all braided, yes. I see a question asking, are they all braided? They are. And we're going to do that today on this 4th one so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to braid some seed beads into it too. So you can see that technique as well. And we are going to crimp with the mighty crimping pliers today. And we're going to cover our crimps with some craft wire. So we've got a lot of cool techniques that are going to be happening today. Move some things out of my way here. Okay. So I'm going to take all 3 of these, and to start, just going to kind of separate them out, get them so they're about the same length. And then I am going to take my bead stopper, which is like a spring, and spring it open and put my wire inside of it. Can we get a close-up of the bracelet you're wearing? Oh, sure, yeah. I'm wearing just a simple Softflex bracelet. So it's just a straight strung bracelet. It has some check glass beads, and that has some really beautiful simple cut emeralds from our gallery. We may even have some of those left in the gallery if you're interested. I don't know if we have any on the website anymore, but we did at one point on a short strand. And then I have a tiara cast maker's toggle. If you like that toggle, we've got it in a bunch of different metal tones that you can check out on our website, softflexcompany.com. Okay, so I've got my 3 wires. To get started, I'm just going to start my braid off the macrame board and just braid just like you're braiding hair. So I'm taking my right to the middle over the top of the middle one, my left over the top of the middle to the center, and you're just going back and forth just like you would braid a little girl's hair or your own hair. Sometimes I wear my hair in a braid. And I'm just going to braid enough that I can then slide it into the board, and that'll kind of secure it down and just make it that much easier for me to be able to hold on to everything. Now, when you're ready to add beads, which I'm going to add it a little sooner than that, maybe here would be a good spot. I like to pick one spot where I add the bead. So when I take this wire over into the center, I'm going to add a bead every other time. So I'm going to pick up my bead on my wire that's moving to the center. And then I'm going to take my right side and wrap it under that bead. And then my left side, wrapping it around that bead. And I'm going to do one more until I'm coming to the center again on the left. And then I'm going to grab a bead. And if you do it the same place every time, you'll get a really nice even pattern. So bringing it over, 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 and then I add a bead. Let me bring it up a little bit closer so you can see what's happening. So now I'm going to take that left one again. Let me see. I think it's this one. No. The left one again, grab my bead. And then I can slide it into place. This looks like it's a little bit. Make sure I'm doing it at the same time. Boy, it gets confusing when you're so far away from it. Looks like it's a little farther away. So I'm going to undo just ever so slightly. Add my bead. Don't worry if you make a mistake. That is normal and it happens. You just undo it a little bit. Add your bead. Keep going. The nice thing about Soft Flex is it's very forgiving. Even though it's a stainless steel wire, it is very kink resistant. It's very flexible, and it's really easy to work with for a project like this. And I'm just going to keep going down the board. Now my wrist is about 6 inches, a little bit over 6 inches. I'm going to braid for about 8 inches for 2 reasons. The first being that I want it big enough to go over my hand because it's a bangle. It doesn't have a clasp. The second being that I want a little extra braid because when you go to crimp it, that braid almost always kind of comes out. So you want to get in there and get some extra braid on the ends. So when it comes apart a little bit, when you're doing the crimping process, it's no big deal. And I'm just going to keep. So we have lots of different colors of Soft Flex. I'm, of course, doing it in green today because it's St. Patrick's Day. But as you can see, I also did it in the Pretty as a Peacock trio, which looks really lovely. If you prefer more like browns and earth tones, we have those as well. You could do a metallics version, which would be really pretty. You could do like the copper and the brass and like maybe a silver would be really fun to try. And then you can hang charms from it. I'm going to make my own little dangle today using craft wire. But you can do charms or you can do tassels, all sorts of stuff. Kristen's saying she had to restring her chakra bracelet 3 times this week because she kept missing the beading pattern. It's hard when there's a lot going on and you're easily distracted. With the Great Bead Extravaganza coming up this weekend, we have just been busy trying to get ready for it. And there's definitely some distraction going on for sure. But we're so excited. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see what everybody makes. I've already seen a couple of things for the people that are doing kits, but there's a whole lot of people that it's still a mystery what they're going to show us until Friday when we get our preview. Thanks for being here, Barbara, and for joining in whenever you can. For all the people that end up watching this after, thank you for being here too. So a good thing to remember is I have this braid going down the back of this. So I want to remember that I'm trying to shoot for 8 inches, although it is braided all the way through, and this is probably where I want to crimp it. So probably going to about 8 inches is a good. I need to pick up my bead. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Some of my bracelets might be just slightly bigger than the others. They definitely have a really fun handmade feel to them, which I love. And originally this project was a project designed by my friend Jamie Hogsett when she worked for Softlex. I've kind of picked it up and made it my own in a lot of ways, but she was the original person who made this project. And such a smart, amazing designer. I really miss working with her. So I'm doing extra braiding on both ends, and that way I can just put that crimp tube over that braid and not worry about losing the tight braid where it's going to show. So next up, I need to grab I'm just going to pull this down here. See how handy that is? If you've got to take a break, you've got your board there to kind of help you out. I'm going to grab out my crimp and show that to you. I'm using a 3x3 millimeter crimp tube. This is a pretty big crimp tube. It'll fit a lot of strands of Softlex beading wire in it. We've got different sizes of crimp tubes here at Softlex. Here's a 2x2, which is what you would normally see for just like a single strand design, or if you went, you could go through it 3 times at the most. But look at the difference in size there between the two. So since I'm using such a big crimp today, I'm going to be using the Mighty crimping pliers. I'm actually going to be using these this weekend at the Great Bead Extravaganza as well. So I have 2 different projects this week using these pliers. They're very handy when you're using multiple strands of Softlex. They're really, really terrific. So I'm going to pop this off of here. And this is where you got to be kind of careful because you don't want to inadvertently unbraid your bracelet. So I'm stringing all 3 strands, and then I'm going to pop off on this side, set my macrame board aside, and then I'm going to take all 3 strands on the other side. Without even unbraiding it, I'm just going to pop them in to my crimp, pop off this, and then I can pull this to whatever size I want. So I can kind of look at my other bracelets. Do I want to tighten it down a little bit? Do I want it a little bigger? And you can see that braid stays pretty intact, which is good. So now I'm going to go in and I am going to crimp this in place. The very first step is to use that little tooth to make a divot into your crimp tube. So there's 2 holes, and I'm using the back hole closest to the plier handles first to make that little divot. And then I'm going to turn it on its side into the rounder, which is the hole furthest away from the handle. And let me see if I can get it good. And I'm just going to compress it in. So it kind of folds that crimp in on the wires. And then I'm just going to go around and around, kind of tightening it into the nylon coating of all of those wires. So I have 6 strands of Softflex medium 019 going in opposite directions on my bracelet. And I'm going to take my cutters and slide in up close to that crimp tube and trim on both sides. And if there's one that's not quite by the other ones, make sure you do it separately. Be really careful not to cut one of your important bracelet wires. After doing all the work, you don't want to cut it now. And there we go. Now I've got a silver crimp tube there. If you don't mind that crimp tube showing, or you're doing all silver stuff, maybe it's no big deal. There's a couple things you can do if you don't like it. You can put a crimp cover over it. This is a 3x3 millimeter crimp tube, so a 4 millimeter crimp cover. You can patina paint it. If you have some vintage patina paints, I know Kristen's shown that recently here on Facebook and our YouTube channel. And what I did today is I just wrapped it with some Softflex craft wire because I wanted it to have a gold tone and just feel a little bit more finished. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do on this particular piece. And let me get a little bit of craft wire out. So craft wire has a copper core. This particular one is silver plated, and that has a polyurethane color coating over the top that gives it its color. And this is a 26 gauge that I'm using for the cover up wrap. It comes from 18 gauge to 28 gauge on our website and comes in a variety of colors. So you could do a color, you could do a green color if you wanted to, and also some metallic colors. These are the nylon jaw pliers. I used that just to straighten the wire out so I could get a nice bump-free piece of wire. And I'm going to guess I'm using maybe 6 inches of craft wire in the 26 gauge. So to start, I'm just going to make a little bend in my wire, and then I'm going to bring it at the edge of my crimp here and just kind of bend it around my 3 Softflex beading wire strands and pull it tight. I want it right up against that crimp, and then I'm going to start wrapping. Now you could do a messy wrap right from the start. What I've been doing is like a nice clean wrap on the bottom surface. So where the wraps are right next to each other and nice and flat and flush to the surface. You could totally leave it like that if you like to. I tend to like to go over the top of it. So I go kind of back over, and then I'm a little bit more loosey-goosey about where it goes and how it looks. And just make kind of a nice wrapped shape. And this is a technique I learned from my friend Kristen, who's my coworker. This is something that she does, and I have taken on as one of my techniques that I love to do too. I like to come in with my chain nose pliers after I trim it off, just to make sure you don't catch your sweater with one of those loose ends. So kind of tuck it in so that it's no rough surface, nothing sticking out that's going to grab anything. And then I've got my 4 braided bracelets ready to go. So now I'm going to attach them, which is something I haven't done before. Usually I've just made a bunch of them and then I just slip them on as a free bracelet. But I find sometimes in my jewelry box, they get misplaced. You know, like I'll only be able to find 2 instead of the 6 that I originally made. So this time with this design, I decided to make a little connector here at the bottom, and I'm going to do that again today with these 4. And so what I was thinking about, I found a couple of cute little beads and a little tassel that might work. I'm thinking this peridot one is probably my favorite with this color, the color collection. I'm just going to make a little dangle using some Softflex craft wire that that I can then attach using a piece of Softflex beading wire. So I'm going to take my 18 gauge craft wire. You can tell I've been using the heck out of this. I have almost none left. In the gold color, I was like, can I get by with this little tiny bit that's left? I'm sure I can make it work, right? So this is our thickest gauge. You could do a little bit thinner if you wanted to. It's not necessary to go this thick. It's just what I had on hand. And I'm just going to clean up that wire. Again, using my nylon jaw pliers. And let me snip off this end. Oh, I need a round nose plier. Let me grab my wire looping pliers. Oh, good, they're right here. So I'm going to use my multi-loop pliers. You can make different sized loops with them, 6 different sizes, in fact, and they're just super duper handy. I'm going to take the end of, trying to decide what size, probably like this size would be good. I'm going to take the end of my wire, leaving enough room that I can do a nice decent wrap with it. And I'm going to make a 90-degree angle, go over the top to make the side of the loop, and then around, and then I'm going to go all the way around. So did any of you guys know that St. Patrick's Day has become a holiday where kids expect things in the morning like they do from the Easter Bunny? I learned this morning from my 6-year-old, she was super disappointed that we didn't have presents from the leprechaun. And I was like, that never happened for me as a kid. So I guess it's become a thing. All the kids at her school were talking about what they had gotten from the leprechaun. So I was curious. My husband and I were discussing it. We're like, this never happened to us as a kid. And I was curious if you know if that's a thing everywhere or that's just a thing that's happening here. I'm going to string on my bead. I was just, oh, and my bead broke. Oh, that's a heartache. I wonder how that happened. That's a real heartache. I guess I'm doing this other bead. I guess it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, so I was really surprised. I thought I was doing really good, that I have the corned beef in the Instapot, and we were going to have corned beef for dinner. And that was going to be our Irish tradition today. But apparently I'm supposed to also be a leprechaun. I know. Fern says presents. Haven't heard about this. Yeah, the kids are squeezing us. They're squeezing us for more presents. I'm like, in what universe do you get presents from the leprechaun? I don't know. Anyway, so I thought I would survey all the people out there and see. Oh, Kristen said I didn't even have to do these leprechaun traps. Oh gosh. Yeah, we have leprechaun traps in every room in this house right now. It's kind of insane. Okay, so I've got my bead on. This bead is really pretty, so maybe it's for the best that it didn't work out. I'm going to, with the other one, I'm just going to wrap up and around and just do kind of a messy wrap again around the top. Kristen says it's Pinterest. I'm going to write Pinterest a letter and have a talk with them, because this mama does not have time to be an Easter bunny, a leprechaun, a Santa Claus, and whatever else Pinterest can come up with for the year. Oh, man. Okay, so now I'm going to take a piece of soft flex, and what I did here was I strung those two items. We'll see if it'll work in the same way. And then I beaded around it. Let's pick the peridot wire for this part of the project. After this video, I will be doing a reel on our Instagram page. It's a 30-second tutorial. It's a whole lot of fun. If you're not following us on Instagram, I suggest that you do, because we're putting lots of content that is only available on Instagram there and nowhere else. And it's just a fun place to be. So definitely follow us on Instagram. I'm just I strung my two little dangles. I'm stringing some seed beads on both sides. And then I'm going to use a 2x2 millimeter crimp tube this time to create like a jump ring using soft flex to hold all these little wires together. I am making corned beef today. The owner of Soft Flex Company, Mike Sherman, makes this corned beef recipe that many of us have adopted over the years. And it's so tasty. And I make it every St. Patrick's Day now, sometimes in between too, because it's so good. It's probably good. That might be even a little too big. I'm going to take a couple off here. Don't want it to be too big. I don't want it to be too small. I want to make sure that I can fit my crimping plier inside of there to crimp it. So that's one very tricky thing. Maybe one more on each side off, and then we'll do the crimp. Let's grab this, and I'll get my crimp out in the meantime. Oh, good. Barbara says she can't wait to try this project. Thanks, Barbara. I'm glad. All right. So I've got my 2x2 millimeter crimp tube this time, and I'm going to string my wires in opposite directions, kind of like we did with the big crimp for the bracelet, and bring it together. And one thing I want to be careful of, these seed beads are going to be really delicate because they're glass. So I want to make sure I have enough room to get my crimp in there without smashing one of those seed beads. And the nice thing about using the peridot colored wire is even though there will be a little bit of wire showing, it'll really be hard to see. Now I'm going to tighten down my crimp tube into a little square using these magical crimpers. And then, because I left enough room, I can come in the opposite direction, compress in those corners, and then I'm just going to kind of come at it from every angle, trying to round it into a little round bead without smashing any of those sweet little seed beads in the process. So go slow, be patient, and then I can just trim off my extra wire. Oh, and I used a silver. I used a silver instead of a gold. I would normally have used a gold. So now I'm going to wrap that. I'm going to wrap that with a little bit of gold craft wire. Same thing I did last time, right? So it's not an eyesore when I take my picture. I'm going to fix it up here. Same thing as last time. I'm just going to twist this into place on the side of the crimp. Of course, it doesn't want to let me do that. And then I'll just wrap around that crimp. This may be something I've got to finish on my own because I need it closer to my eyes to see it better, but I'm just going to wrap just like I did on the others down here. I'm going to wrap that crimp into a messy wrap using my 26 gauge soft flex craft wire in gold. And again, there's other things you can do, like you can do the patina paints. You could do a bead cover if you wanted to in gold filled. Give it a gold color. And yeah, so that way it matches and feels right. Sometimes I don't mind mixed metals, but in this case, I spent time making it gold on the others. So I'm certainly not going to leave this little guy silver. Just wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for this case. And it's a nice way to just finish it off, make it feel finished. So after this, you'll find me on Instagram. You can go do our giveaway on YouTube. Look for that 10K subscriber video that Kristen did on Monday. In order to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel and then also comment on that video. There you go. Got a nice messy wrap there. And now I'm just going to trim and tuck. Make sure you are a part of the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group. It's all happening there. There will be, if you don't do Facebook at all, there will be some videos like ours that will post live to the Great Bead Extravaganza YouTube channel, which you can also go subscribe to. There you go. So these kind of just float around, these little silver bits. They're really not very noticeable. And this just goes right over your hand and creates kind of a fun little bracelet stack. Yay. You could even add a little straight beaded one if you wanted to. It doesn't have to all be braided. It's kind of fun to have it braided and have a little bobble on it. Yeah, so that's it for me today. Me scoochie back over here. It's so nice to spend a little time with you guys today on St. Patrick's Day. Make sure you enter to win 10 prizes on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're part of the Great Bead Extravaganza group and you're ready to go for preview night to our Friday night. That's going to be really key. I have a phone call coming in on my phone, of course. And what else? We've got so many great things going on. We've got a really great deal on our website. So if you are looking to buy some trios, we've got free shipping on orders over $49. And then we've got 10% off on orders over $49, 15% off on orders over $69, and 20% off on orders over $99. We have new products dropping Friday morning that are really fun and exciting. Please do like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up on YouTube. If you're a YouTuber, click like on Facebook. We appreciate all of your support of our small business, big and small. If you can't always make purchases, those likes and shares mean a lot to us too as a small business. And yeah, thank you for joining me today. And you can get most of what I used today for my project, all the tools and the wire and beads from softflexcompany.com, our website. And then also get that free shipping on US orders over $49. I think I covered it all. I hope you guys learned something from the video today. If you did, definitely click like or give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. And I'll see you over on Instagram in just a little bit with my next quick 30-second tutorial. Bye, everybody. Have a great St. Patrick's Day, and I'll see you Friday.